Go to like the end of the 70s.
These days, people almost don't know what to do with themselves if they don't have their phone on them, especially on the train and commuting to work. So it's kind of a conscious practice against that. And I think everybody deserves a moment to disconnect and do something that's not so technology-based. When I'm doing all of the physical labor of the knitting, I'm really concentrated on what the pattern itself is. A lot of times you have to count stitches or different colors, and you're like, okay, 3 white, 2 red, 3 white, 2 red, and you're counting it out loud or in your head.
As a dedicated male knitter in New York City, Gairo is not alone. Men's knitting groups are popping up all over the city.
The reason I knit is to actually de-stress. I find it to be extremely meditative. The rhythm of the knit and the sound of it, it's actually calming.
I think men who knit are a special kind of person. Obviously, we're not rushing to play baseball or basketball.
Groups like this one meet in shops, homes, and storefronts as a quiet alternative to socializing in clubs and bars.
In history, knitting was not only the work of women. Knitting was something very practical that everybody did. Where it was more unisex was in the peasant cultures.
And I've been knitting for about 15 years now. So somewhere between 4 to 5 hours a day are probably just knitting. I think I'm so passionate about knitting because I think it's really amazing to be able to make something from nothing. I think it's really cool that really the only limit is your imagination. Just put it away for the moment.
These days, Gairo and others say knitting with other men adds a sense of community.
It's cool to be in groups that involve men who are also doing the same thing as me, because we're kind of showing the world that you don't have to be woman-bodied in order to knit. More and more men will see that guys like myself are out there doing it, and maybe it will make them less nervous or shy to try it out. So this is the skein.
The men's knit group is great. We have a good camaraderie with each other, so we can like really let our hair down and not, kind of like cuss, swear, and all the other fun stuff.
Knitting is probably at least 1,000 years old. People had to make an incredibly elaborate drawing out of knitting to be accepted in the guild, but these were men's guilds.
Instagram 2 years ago.
So women were not allowed to be in these guilds.
So here it is. So I have like.
So it was men's thing.
These are my kind of notes. My beautiful handwriting, of course. I'm making my husband his first sweater knit by me.
But as a hobby in the Western world, I think it's been a very female-dominated thing for the most part.
It's just some string and some sticks. What could be girly or masculine about that? But as a society, we just kind of label everything in general.
I would say in this latest revival since the early 2000s, there has been a definite wish in the yarn industry to cultivate more men knitters. I guess the whole gender bending thing that we're in right now is great because every person of whatever gender can explore more hobbies that were once considered taboo in times when everything was much more gender-based.
There's always a place for everyone, whether it's men, women, or gay or straight or anything else. You just feel like you're in your element with your people.